Democratic Socialist. And Democratic Socialist, is a pleasure to have you on. A little bit of background. I did a video, sort of like a casual, overarching video about the government of Salvador Allende, which, as I said, it was the first democratically elected socialist Marxist government ever. And it was voted into power on September 5th, 1970. And it ended on the 11th of September, 1973. And in those 3 years, quite a bit happened. And so we're going to dive right into it. And I think that to start, as you are our guest, I think that it would be great if you would kick it off and give us a preface of the Allende government as you see it.
Okay, well, Allende was president from 1970 to September 4, 1970 to September 11, 1973. He was overthrown in a U.S.-backed coup, which was supported by the right-wing social groups in Chile, which included the two other political parties, the Christian Democrats and the Chilean National Party, the terrorist group Fatherland and Liberty, and the capitalists who sabotage the economy by hoarding goods, receiving money from the CIA in order. Oh, wait! I stuffed up there.
I'm sorry, your microphone is cutting out.
Cutting out?
Yeah,
okay.
It's fading out. It's fading like you're very far away.
Okay. Okay. That's the problem. Okay. Okay, I'll try it now.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Well, the reason why I responded to Coach Red Pill is because he made a number of claims that I disagree with. One, he claimed that 500 people were killed by leftist guerrillas during Allende, but the junta under Pinochet claimed that only 96 people on both sides perished due to political violence during the Allende years. Coach Red Pill also claimed that left-wing paramilitaries lasted for 18 months. A year and a half.
I didn't claim
well,
that.
No. You said they fought the military for 18 months. But Pinochet himself admitted that the fighting lasted for 4 hours. Why? Because he was up against an unarmed enemy. Yes, so...
Okay, so I'm not talking about the Pinochet government. I'm talking about the Allende government. So why don't you tell us about the Allende government?
Oh, well, I did that in my video, but
no,
okay.
You didn't. You talked about it, and so here I'm gonna nail you down with the facts. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I even brought my Salvador Allende glasses. We're gonna nail you down to the facts, and so why don't you tell the facts from the very beginning? Why don't you talk first of all about the actual election of Salvador Allende, if you happen to know that information?
Oh, yes, I mentioned that in my video that he won 36% of the vote, but the vote was split. Like, there were two candidates that offered a left-wing platform. Talmadge of the Christian Democrats, who also wanted to nationalize... Talmadge? Okay, yes. Who wanted to nationalize the Chilean copper mines. And Allende, who also wanted to do the same. The other candidate, Alessandri, was a conservative, wasn't he?
You're fading out again.
The conservative candidate, Alessandri, was a conservative who represented the interests of... Pardon?
Who was he?
He was the president of Chile in 1958 to 1964 when Frey was elected. Yes. And he was a candidate again in 1972. In 1970s, sorry.
In 1972 as president?
No, he wasn't president in 1972. Allende was president in...
No, he was candidate for president in 1972? You said that he was a candidate...
No, he was candidate in 1970. There was no presidential election in 1972.
Okay, because you just mentioned 1972. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, that was a mistake. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, is this Jorge Alessandri or Arturo Alessandri?
His first name?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there was another Alessandri president, was there, in the 50s? And I think you know which Alessandri I'm referring to.
No. Jorge Alessandri or Arturo Alessandri, because one was president from 58 to 64, and the other was president in the 20s. So which one are you talking about? Just to clarify.
Well, I'm talking about the one that was president in the
and his first name was?
Jorge.
Jorge. Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, but, you know, were you claiming that I was confused?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to fix your microphone because you fade out so much that it's hard to hear you.
Okay.
So you were saying that he won with 36% of the vote against Jorge Alessandri and Radomiro Tomic.
Yes,
and he took office on early November of 70. I think the 2nd or 3rd. Anyway,
yes. Something that should be mentioned is that the U.S. tried to stop him from being inaugurated.
How did they stop him from being inaugurated?
Well, they attempted to.
Okay, how did they attempt to prevent his inauguration?
Well, through a military coup.
Through a military coup? That's interesting. Please, tell us.
Well, the plot was to, assassinate Rene Schneider, the constitutionalist commander-in-chief of the army.
Okay.
And then replace it with a pro-coup plotter, and then stop Allende from being inaugurated and replace him with Frey. Yes.
Well, first of all, that's completely incorrect. And I will tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why you're totally wrong. And you don't know what you're talking about insofar as Rene Schneider was concerned. Schneider was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. In Chile, unlike the United States or other countries, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces is a separate position from the head of state. Now, Rene Schneider, who was the commander-in-chief of the army, said immediately after the election that he would respect the Constitution of Chile and uphold the law. That was referred to as the Schneider Doctrine. Now, a group of individuals who were later identified as belonging to Patria y Libertad, or sympathetic to them, tried to kidnap him, not assassinate him, as you said. In the panic of the moment, they shot him because he took out his service revolver, and as he saw that he was that they were trying to kidnap him, he fired on the individuals who had stopped his car at the intersection of I think it was Amerigo Vespucio and Carlos Antunes. No, one away from Cristobal Colon. It doesn't matter. The point is that he was not assassinated per se. It was an accidental killing. The people involved in it admitted the fact, and everybody involved in the situation knew that the intent had been to kidnap him in a very misguided attempt to
stop Allende from being inaugurated.
Yes. Now, this happened 1 week before the government was inaugurated, and this was everybody in the Chilean political spectrum. Number one, they knew who did it. Okay, it was not an American-backed plot to do this.
No,
there wasn't, because
no.
About something that you don't know. You don't know the difference between.
I can link a video where you
don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. So please go on. Go on. It's going to be very amusing for you to be discussing things that you have to know absolutely nothing about, that you read or listen to, the History Channel, and this informs you as to a history that I know intimately well, better than you ever know, and you don't even know the names of the people that we are talking about. So please continue. Continue with your brilliant expose of the Allende government.
No, I'm finding the video where the CIA agent admits that he was.
Yes, of course. Yeah, sure.
So is it a conspiracy theory? Is it? Well,
yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. Paul McCartney is still alive, and Elvis is dead. Okay, just so that we know. Please continue.
Okay, well, I'm posting the video to the chat where it shows that a CIA agent admits
Okay, fine. Sure, no
that
problem.
he was supplying money to Chilean terrorists in order to execute. In order to.
I'm gonna love when we talk about the trucker strike, and you explain to me how the CIA money, quote unquote, that went to pay for the trucker strike, how that happened. I mean, I'm really going to be looking forward to that, because there are a few things that are like, basic arithmetic that makes it hard to square the conspiracy bullshit that you're going to be telling me about the CIA financing everything, and it's pulling the strings, like Bela Lugosi said in Plan 99 from Outer Space. It's going to be very amusing for you to explain that, and explain away the fact that the Allende government mismanaged the economy so profoundly that it wrecked the Chilean economy. So I want you to explain to me, because please, you know so much about this history. So please tell me all about it. I'm dying to know. So November 3rd, 1970, Allende takes over power. And what happens? What were the pillars of the Popular Unity? You know who the Popular Unity government is, right?
Yes.
You do know? Okay, just to clarify that, for just so that so we all know that you are aware that the Popular Unity Coalition was the coalition.
I don't think you understand.
Allende. Now, the Popular Unity, who was their Minister of Economics, and what was his critique of the Chilean economy, and what did he intend to do to change it, to fix it? Please tell us.
Well, Allende had planned. Do you want the name of the economic minister?
I know it. You look it up, type it up quick on Wikipedia.
Well, the Vuskovic plan, of course.
Vuskovic.
Well, I don't know how to pronounce names. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, well, because you don't know what you're talking about, because it's something that you read in Wikipedia and half-assedly at that. So please continue. What was his critique of the Chilean economy, and what did he plan to do?
Again, I think you are missing the point of this whole discussion here. My
point of this discussion is to show that you don't know what you're talking about. And so I'm asking you, so you explain how you know so much about the Chilean period of Chilean history that I know very well.
No,
but
you
I don't think you know at all.
Liar. You are a liar.
Okay. Please,
if you're not a liar, you claim that Allende killed 500 people.
He did.
On both sides?
No. On the
the Junta claim.
Insofar as the listen, look, buddy. Look, I'm going to nail you to the floorboards because you lies.
Liar.
You don't know what you're talking about. So I want you to tell me and tell our audience all the things that you supposedly know, but you don't know squat. So please, tell us, what were the policies that the Allende government implemented at the start of its government on November 2nd or 3rd of 1970? Please tell us. Tell us what happened.
Nationalization of the copper mines, increased wages.
Oh my God. How did that vote go? How did that vote go?
How did what vote go?
The vote to nationalize the copper mines.
Well, it was supported by all the parties.
All right. So, which means that it was not a left-wing only policy, as you said previously. It was a policy of national consensus, right?
Yes.
Okay, then. Now, what were the following policies that the Allende government began to implement insofar as the economy? And, please, if you know so much about it, if you know so much about, what do you call it, Vuskovic. If you know so much about the Vuskovic plan, why don't you tell us the central pillars of it, its critique of the Chilean economy, and what were the policies that Vuskovic planned to implement during the Allende government? Please tell us.
Well, the Vuskovic plan.
Vuskovic.
Vuskovic. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it is a Croatian name.
Okay, well, I'm not from Croatia, so I apologize.
Well, because people who know what they're talking about have heard the name, and so they know it's pronounced Vuskovic. So please, what were the policies that the Vuskovic plan, and what was the Vuskovic plan, by the way? Please tell us.
Well, it was really a split between Keynesian economics and socialist economics that had the national.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God! Okay.
It was Keynesian? Yes. Do you even know what you're talking about?
Oh, for God's sake!
I mean, I'm asking you. It was. Do you even know the word Keynesian? Do you know what it means?
Again, you're lucky that I'm even here. I was told not to join because I've been told that you are a pathological liar. I've been told that you are a pathological liar and
holding you to account. You to account.
No, you are,
and you can't do it.
Let me finish a sentence.
Okay.
For God's sake, you're such a flying fraud. No. So the plan involved the nationalization of the country's resources and foreign enterprises, which upset the U.S., of course, and agrarian reform, and of course, a massive redistribution of income, which of course resulted in was carried out through the wage increases.
That's the Vuskovic plan?
Well, yes, if you want a thesis on it, I'm sorry, I can't.
You're absolutely wrong, and I'll tell you exactly what the Vuskovic plan was. The Vuskovic plan said that there were basically 4 aspects of the Chilean economy that had to be looked at. The monopolistic aspect of it, the fact that it was concentrated in an oligarchy, the fact that it was dependent on external capital insofar as technological innovation, and the fact that it was capitalist.
Nationalization of foreign companies.
Can you
That's how
stop? Because you don't know what you're talking about, and I haven't finished.
That's what I'm saying here.
I'm going to mute you now so that I can finish. Because you don't know what you're talking about, and you're interrupting me because you know that I know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. You're misrepresenting.
You know that I know what I'm talking about, and you don't.
No,
and I am going to school you
talking about
now.
you are.
I am going to school you.
Again, I'm not.
Now, the Vuskovic plan. Okay.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to mute him for a bit so that he takes a little time out. I'm going to explain to you, the audience, what the Vuskovic plan was. Vuskovic basically said that there were 4 critiques of the Chilean economy. Number 1 was that it was monopolistic. Number 2, that it was dependent on foreign capital and technology. Number 3, it was oligarchic. And number 4, it was capitalistic. Capitalistic in the sense of being a free market. And so Vuskovic plan said that the economy had to be restructured along 3 lines. Number 1, there would be the social economy, which would be that the state would own outright all of the large industries in the country and all of the what had been up to that point the private holdings of all mineral rights. Number 2, there would be the sector mixto, which is the mixed sector, which would be the state would own the controlling shares of these companies and of these companies that required medium amounts of capital. And the Vuskovic plan outlined how many dollars would be the limit for the capitalization of each company. And number 3, there would be the private aspect, the sector privado, the private sector in this restructured economy. And that would be companies, stores, factories that required minimal capital. Only those would be in private hands. That was the Vuskovic plan, and that was the plan that the Allende government intended to implement. Now, I am trying to unmute you, but I think that Democratic Socialist went away because my unmute button doesn't allow me to unmute him. So I'm assuming that he left. I'm truly sorry, because now that I've outlined what the thing is, I want to hear what you have to say, but it says here that you're muted. I can't seem to unmute you. I'm assuming that you have muted yourself, so I don't know how we're going to continue this conversation. So, and Democratic Socialist left. I don't know if he will return. So he has to unmute himself, says the people here in the chat. Well, I think that Democratic Socialist won't be returning, because Democratic Socialist, all he can do is throw ad hominem attacks at me, calling me spurious names, saying that I'm a con man,